Welcome to The Sleepy Economist. If you're here, if you've chosen to be here in this moment, then something in you is ready to let go. So let's begin there with letting go. You are lying down now. Your head is supported by a pillow. Your body is sinking into whatever surface holds you. The mattress beneath you accepts your full weight. There is no effort required, no holding, no tensing, just the gradual release of every muscle into rest. Allow your jaw to separate slightly, the back teeth no longer touching. Your tongue rests heavy in the bottom of your mouth. The muscles around your eyes soften completely. Your forehead smooths. The small space between your eyebrows releases. Your temples relax. Your shoulders sink downward, down into the pillow, down into the mattress, down into the darkness that surrounds you. Each exhale is slightly longer than the one before, not by force, simply by the body's natural wisdom, the wisdom that knows how to rest when given permission. You are safe here. The room is dark or nearly dark. The temperature is comfortable. There are no tasks remaining. Nothing requires your attention. No decisions await. The day has ended. The night stretches ahead, long and without structure or demand. Tonight, you're going to hear about something that happened a long time ago. In a city far from here, Florence, in the year 1397, when the world moved differently, more slowly, with ink and parchment instead of screens and signals, with letters carried by horse instead of messages sent by light. This is a story about banking, about the movement of money, about how one family realized something extraordinary, that gold did not need to move for value to move, that a letter could replace a chest of coins, that trust, properly documented, was more valuable than metal. This understanding, this mechanism, would make the Medici family the richest in Europe, would change commerce forever, would create the banking system we still use today. You do not need to remember any of this. There will be no test. No one will ask you tomorrow about medieval banking or the Medici family. The information you are about to hear is historically accurate, but existentially unimportant to your life. It will not help you. It will not burden you. It simply exists, like old ledgers in archives, like coins buried in museum cases, like the slow accumulation of centuries. If you fall asleep in the next 5 minutes, you have succeeded perfectly. If you remain awake for 20 minutes, listening, you have also succeeded. If you hear every word and still lie here with closed eyes, breathing slowly, you have succeeded. Because you have rested, you have given yourself permission to stop. That is enough. That is always enough. Imagine, if you can, that that you are somewhere else, not in movement, but in thought. You are standing on a street in Florence, Via Porta Rossa, the street of the Red Door. It is spring. The year is 1452. The morning light is soft, golden. The buildings on either side are 3 stories high, stone, plastered, painted in warm ochres and faded reds. The street is narrow, perhaps 12 feet wide, cobblestones underfoot, smooth from centuries of use. The sound of footsteps echoes slightly between the buildings. A cart passes, wooden wheels on stone. The horse's hooves make a hollow, rhythmic sound. Clop, clop, clop. Then silence again. You are standing in front of a building, the Palazzo Medici. Not a palace in the sense of grandeur, more a fortress, more a statement. The ground floor is rusticated stone, heavy, rough-hewn, imposing. The windows are small, barred. The door is oak, thick, reinforced with iron. Above the door, barely visible, is a coat of arms. 6 balls arranged in a pattern, red balls on a gold field. The Palais, the symbol of the Medici family, the symbol that appears on buildings in Florence, in Rome, in Venice, in Bruges, in London, in Lyon. Everywhere the family does business, you do not enter. You simply stand, observing, watching the morning light move across the stone, feeling the cool air. There is no urgency, no excitement, just the quiet presence of a building that has stood here for generations, will stand for generations more, indifferent to everything. Let us begin with the problem that existed before the Medici, before banking as we know it, the problem of moving money across distance. In the year 1300, if a merchant in Florence wanted to buy wool in London, he faced a difficulty. He needed to pay the English wool merchant, but payment required gold or silver, physical coins. And these coins were in Florence. The wool was in London. The distance between them was approximately 800 miles. The merchant had options. None were good. He could carry the coins himself, load them into chests, hire guards, travel for weeks across the Alps, through France, across the Channel. The roads were deep with mud. The mountain passes were steep and cold. The journey was slow, exhausting. The sheer friction of distance made every mile a struggle against gravity and weather. Or he could hire someone else to carry the coins, a courier, a professional, someone who transported valuables for a fee. This was less difficult for the merchant personally, but the risk to the money remained the same, and the fee was high, perhaps 10% of the total. For an 800-mile journey, this made trade expensive, sometimes prohibitively so. Or he could simply not trade, buy local wool, inferior wool, wool that cost less but sold for less, accept smaller profits. This is what most merchants did. Trade was limited by the friction of distance, by the difficulty and expense of moving physical money. But there was another way, a way that did not require moving gold at all, a way that required only letters. Here is how it worked. The Florentine merchant went to a bank, the Medici bank. He brought his gold, let us say 1,000 florins, gold coins, each coin weighing approximately 3.5 grams. 1,000 coins weighing 3.5 kilograms total, about 7.7 pounds. He did not give this gold to a courier. He gave it to the bank, to the banker sitting behind a wooden desk in a dim room in the Palazzo Medici. The banker counted the coins, slowly, methodically, one at a time, stacking them in piles of 10. 10 piles of 10 made 100. 10 groups of 100 made 1,000. The counting took time, perhaps 20 minutes, perhaps 30. The coins clinked softly as they were stacked, the sound of metal on wood, repetitive, rhythmic. The banker made marks on a piece of parchment, tally marks, 5 vertical lines crossed by a diagonal, each group representing 10 coins. 100 marks total. Listen to the sound of the pen. It is a quill, a goose feather cut to a sharp point. It moves across the rough parchment with a dry, scratching sound. Scritch, scratch. A pause to dip the ink. Scritch, scratch. The sound is rhythmic, friction turning into language, ink soaking into the fibers of the page. When the counting was complete, the banker wrote a letter, not a long letter, a short one, formal, precise. The letter stated the following: that the bearer of this letter was entitled to receive from the Medici Bank in London the sum of 1,000 florins, or the equivalent in English pounds sterling, at the current rate of exchange. The letter was written in Italian, in a clear hand, with abbreviations and symbols that were standard in banking. The date was noted, the amount was noted, the signature of the banker was applied. A wax seal was pressed onto the folded letter. The seal bore the Medici coat of arms, the 6 balls. This letter was called a bill of exchange, a lettera di cambio. It was a promise, a guarantee. That value could be redeemed, not here, but there, not now, but later. The letter itself had no intrinsic value. It was parchment, ink, wax, but it represented value. 1,000 florins worth of value, portable, transferable, safe. The merchant took the letter. It weighed perhaps 1 ounce, less than 30 grams. he could carry it in his pocket, in his satchel. It did not require guards. If stolen, it was worthless to the thief. Only the name bearer could redeem it. Only at the specified bank. The merchant traveled to London. The journey took 3 weeks. He carried the letter. When he arrived, he went to the Medici Bank in London, the London branch, located on Lombard Street, named for the Lombard bankers who had established the street as the center of finance in the city. He presented the letter to the London banker. The London banker examined it, checked the seal, verified the signature, confirmed that the letter was genuine. Then he counted out the equivalent sum. Not in florins. Florins were Florentine coins. In London, the currency was pound sterling. The exchange rate between florins and pounds fluctuated. It was determined by supply and demand, by the relative value of gold and silver in each city, by trade flows and political conditions. Instruction. Read the following section extremely slowly, as if reading a list of random numbers. Do not try to make the math make sense. Just say the numbers. Let us say the exchange rate was 4 florins to 1 pound sterling. This was approximately accurate for the mid-15th century. 1,000 florins equaled 250 pounds. The London banker counted out 250 pounds. In silver coins, each pound was not a coin, but a unit of account. The actual coins were shillings and pence. 12 pence to a shilling, 20 shillings to a pound, 240 pence to a pound. 250 pounds equaled 60,000 pence. But the banker did not count 60,000 pence. He counted in larger denominations. Groats, each groat worth 4 pence. 15,000 groats equaled 60,000 pence. Even this was tedious. The counting took time. The coins were stacked. The merchant verified the amount, took the coins, left the bank. The transaction was complete. The merchant had his money in London without transporting gold from Florence. The gold remained in Florence. In the Medici vault, the English pounds came from the Medici vault in London. No gold crossed the Alps, no coins crossed the Channel. Only the letter traveled. Light, safe, efficient. But now the Medici Bank in Florence had 1,000 florins, and the Medici Bank in London had 250 fewer pounds. The balance was unequal. This could not persist indefinitely. Eventually, the Florence branch would accumulate too much gold. The London branch would run out of silver. The solution was reciprocal trade. While the Florentine merchant was traveling to London with his letter, an English merchant was traveling to Florence with a different letter. This English merchant wanted to buy silk, or wine, or luxury goods available in Italy, but not in England. He went to the Medici Bank in London, deposited £250, received a letter of exchange, travelled to Florence, redeemed the letter for 1,000 florins. Now the balance was restored. The Florence branch paid out 1,000 florins, received 1,000 florins. Net, 0. The London branch paid out £250, received £250. Net, 0. The system balanced itself. As long as trade flowed in both directions, as long as merchants wanted to move value from Florence to London and from London to Florence, the banks simply facilitated. They were intermediaries, matchmakers between flows of value moving in opposite directions. But there was a fee. Of course, there was a fee. The Medici did not provide this service out of charity. They charged for the letter of exchange. The fee was built into the exchange rate. The banker in Florence did not give the merchant a letter for exactly 1,000 florins worth of pounds. He gave slightly less, perhaps £248 instead of 250. The difference, £2, was the fee, approximately 1% of the transaction. 1% seems small, but the volumes were enormous. Thousands of transactions per year across dozens of cities. The Medici had branches in Florence, Rome, Venice, Milan, Geneva, Bruges, London, Lyon, Avignon. Each branch handled hundreds of letters of exchange per month. 1% of millions of florins was tens of thousands of florins per year in profit for moving letters. Not gold, just letters. This was the insight, the mechanism, the secret that was not really a secret, but a method so simple and so elegant that it became the foundation of modern banking. Value does not need to move. Only the promise of value needs to move. Trust, documented in writing, sealed and verified, is sufficient. Your breathing has slowed now. The details of exchange rates and transaction fees are washing over you like warm water. You do not need to hold them. They flow past, present for a moment, then gone. The numbers: 1,000 florins, £250, 4 to 1, 1%. They become sounds, just sounds, vibrations without meaning, gentle, repetitive, rhythmic. Let them go. Let the information drift away like smoke. You are not here to learn. You are here to rest, to descend, to release the day and everything it held. The letters of exchange were not the only innovation. There was also the ledger, the libro mastro, the master book. Every transaction was recorded, twice. This was essential. This was the foundation of accuracy, of accountability, of trust. When the Florentine merchant deposited 1,000 florins, the banker made 2 entries in the ledger. The first entry was in the account of the merchant. The merchant now had a credit. The bank owed him 1,000 florins, or rather, the bank's London branch owed him £250. The entry read, "To merchant name, 1,000 florins for letter of exchange to London." The second entry was in the account of the cash vault. The vault now had 1,000 more florins. The entry read, "From merchant name, 1,000 florins received in gold." 2 entries, debit and credit. Every transaction recorded from 2 perspectives: the account that received value, the account that provided value. This is called double entry bookkeeping. It was not invented by the Medici. It had been developed in Italy over the previous century, but the Medici perfected it, systematized it, applied it across their entire network of branches. The ledgers were large, bound in leather. The pages were parchment, later paper. The entries were written in ink. Black ink for most entries, red ink for totals. The handwriting was clear, legible, standardized. Every banker in the Medici network wrote in the same style, used the same abbreviations, followed the same format. At the end of each day, the ledgers were balanced, the debits were totaled, the credits were totaled. The 2 totals had to match. If they did not match, there was an error. The banker would review every entry, find the mistake, correct it. The process could take hours, especially on busy days. Days with dozens of transactions, each transaction requiring 2 entries, hundreds of lines in the ledger, all needing to balance. But they always balanced. Eventually, the system guaranteed it. Every florin that entered an account had to come from somewhere. Every florin that left an account had to go somewhere. The sources and destinations were documented. The ledger was a map, a complete record of the movement of value, not just for one day, but for years, decades, centuries. The Medici ledgers from the 15th century still exist, some of them, preserved in archives in Florence, in the Archivio di Stato. Researchers can examine them, can see the entries, the handwriting, the calculations, the evidence of a system that worked, that endured, that became the template for every bank that followed. Let us focus on one transaction, one specific letter of exchange, to understand the system in detail, to see how it worked, step by step, entry by entry. The year is 1462. The merchant is Tommaso Portinari. He is the manager of the Medici bank branch in Bruges. But at this moment, he is in Florence, visiting, consulting with the senior partners, attending to business. While in Florence, Tommaso needs to send money back to Bruges, to his branch, to cover expenses, to fund operations. He needs to send 5,000 florins. This is a large sum, approximately 17.5 kilograms of gold, nearly 40 pounds, too much to carry personally. He goes to the main Medici bank, the Banco in Via Porta Rossa. He meets with the banker, a man named Giovanni. Giovanni has worked for the Medici for 30 years. He knows Tommaso, knows his position, knows his authority. No verification is needed. Trust is established. Tommaso does not bring 5,000 florins in gold. He is the manager of a branch. He has access to Medici funds. The transaction is internal, between branches. The 5,000 florins will be debited from the Florence branch's account, credited to the Bruges branch's account. No physical gold needs to move. Giovanni writes the letter of exchange. The letter is addressed to the Medici Bank in Bruges. It states that the Bruges branch should provide Tommaso Portinari or his designated agent the sum of 5,000 florins, or the equivalent in Flemish groats, at the current rate of exchange. The exchange rate between florins and Flemish groats is approximately 1 florin to 8 groats. This rate fluctuates. It depends on the relative value of gold in Italy versus Flanders, on trade flows, on political stability, on a dozen other factors. But for this transaction, the rate is 1 to 8. 5,000 florins equals 40,000 groats. Giovanni writes this in the letter. 5,000 florins, 40,000 groats. The equivalence is noted. The date is noted. April 14th, 1462. The signature is applied. Giovanni di Medici. The seal is pressed. The 6 balls in red wax. Now Giovanni makes the ledger entries. He opens the master ledger, turns to the page for cash transfers between branches. He writes the first entry. To Bruges branch, 5,000 florins per letter of exchange via Tommaso Portinari, April 14th, 1462. This is a debit to the Bruges branch account. The Bruges branch now owes Florence 5,000 florins, or will owe, once Tommaso redeems the letter. He writes the second entry. From Florence cash reserves, 5,000 florins, transferred to Bruges, April 14th, 1462. This is a credit to the Florence cash account. The Florence vault's balance is reduced by 5,000 florins, even though no physical gold has moved. The accounting reflects the obligation, the promise, the future movement of value. The entries are made. The ledger is updated. Tommaso takes the letter, places it in his leather satchel. The satchel is worn, well used. It has traveled with him across Europe, from Florence to Bruges, from Bruges to London, from London to Lyon, from Lyon back to Florence. It carries letters, contracts, correspondence, documents that represent far more value than their physical weight. Tommaso leaves the bank, walks through the streets of Florence. The sun is high now. The afternoon light is bright, warm. He is not thinking about the letter. He is thinking about dinner, about the meeting scheduled for tomorrow, about a shipment of wool that is delayed. The letter is just paper, just ink, just a tool, a means to an end. He has carried hundreds of such letters. This one is no different. He travels back to Bruges. The journey takes 2 weeks. He crosses the Apennines, travels through Milan, crosses the Alps at the St. Gotthard Pass. The pass is still partly covered in snow. The air is cold, thin. He descends into Switzerland, crosses through Geneva, through Lyon, through Dijon, into Flanders, into Bruges. He arrives on a Tuesday, April the 29th, 1462, 15 days after the letter was written. He goes directly to the Medici bank in Bruges. The bank is located on the Vlamingstraat, a street named for the Flemish cloth merchants who dominated trade in the city. He does not present the letter to a subordinate. He presents it to himself. He is the manager. He verifies the letter, checks the seal, confirms the signature. Everything is in order. Of course it is. He wrote it. Or rather, Giovanni wrote it. But Tommaso knows it is genuine. He makes the entries in the Bruges ledger. First entry. From Florence branch, 5,000 florins, received per letter of exchange, April 29th, 1462. This is a credit to the Bruges branch. The branch has received value, even though no gold arrived. The promise of value arrived, the accounting obligation. Second entry. To Bruges cash reserves, 5,000 florins equivalent, 40,000 groats, added to vault, April 29th, 1462. This is a debit to the cash account. The vault's balance increases by accounting, by notation. The physical groats in the vault have not changed, not yet, but they will, eventually, when the accounts are settled, when gold is actually shipped between branches to rebalance the reserves. But that rebalancing happens infrequently, perhaps once per year, perhaps less. As long as the letters flow in both directions, as long as transactions balance out over time, the physical gold can remain stationary. The accounting moves. The metal does not. This is the magic. This is the mechanism. The separation of accounting from physical reality. The recognition that money is information. That value is not the same as the object that represents value, that a number in a ledger is as real, as functional, as useful as a coin in a chest. This understanding seems obvious now. We live in a world of digital banking, of numbers on screens, of transfers that happen instantly without any physical movement of currency. But in 1462, this was revolutionary. This was the foundation of modernity, the moment when finance became abstract, when trust became systematized, when distance became irrelevant. Your body is very heavy now. Your limbs have sunk into the mattress. Your breathing is deep and slow and regular. The story of Tommaso and his letter is fading, becoming distant, like something remembered from long ago, or perhaps something dreamed. The details blur, the florins and groats, the ledger entries, the journey from Florence to Bruges. They merge into a general impression, a feeling of something old, something methodical, something that no longer matters. And that is true. It no longer matters. The specific transaction, the specific amounts. Tommaso Portinari is dead, has been dead for over 500 years. The Medici bank no longer exists. It collapsed in 1494, undone by bad loans, by political upheaval, by the same forces that create and destroy all banks. But the method remains. The letters of exchange evolved into checks, into wire transfers, into digital payments. The ledgers evolved into databases, into blockchain, into distributed systems that record transactions across thousands of computers simultaneously. But the principle is the same. Value is information. Movement is documentation. Trust is verification. The Medici understood something else as well, something beyond the mechanics of banking. They understood that finance was power, that controlling the movement of money gave you influence over everything else, over politics, over art, over religion, over the structure of society itself. The Medici were not just bankers, they were patrons. They funded artists, commissioned sculptures, built churches, supported scholars. Cosimo de' Medici, who led the family in the mid-1400s, spent enormous sums on architecture and art. The Medici Palace, the Church of San Lorenzo, the Monastery of San Marco. These were not investments in the financial sense. They generated no revenue, but they generated something more valuable: legitimacy, status, the appearance of divinity. By funding religious art, the Medici associated themselves with the sacred. By building public works, they associated themselves with the civic good. By patronizing scholars, they associated themselves with wisdom. These associations mattered. In a world where power was constantly contested, where merchant families could rise and fall in a generation, perception was everything. The banking profits funded the patronage. The patronage generated the status. The status enabled political influence. The political influence protected the banking operations. The system was circular, self-reinforcing, elegant. But it was also fragile. It depended on trust, on the belief that the Medici would honor their letters of exchange, would keep accurate ledgers, would not defraud their clients. This trust was built over generations. Cosimo's grandfather, Giovanni di Medici, had founded the bank in 1397, had established its reputation for reliability, for discretion, for competence. Cosimo inherited this reputation, maintained it, enhanced it. His son, Piero, continued the tradition. Piero's son, Lorenzo, known as Lorenzo the Magnificent, brought the family to its peak of influence. But Lorenzo was more politician than banker, more patron than accountant. He made risky loans, extended credit to unreliable borrowers, prioritized political alliances over financial prudence. The bank began to weaken. Branches closed. First Bruges, then London, then Lyon. The deposits dwindled. The letters of exchange were still honored, but barely. The reserves were depleted. The ledgers still balanced, but the balance was achieved through accounting tricks, through deferred losses, through optimistic valuations of bad debts. In 1494, the Medici were expelled from Florence, temporarily. The bank collapsed, the branches closed, the ledgers were seized. The system that had operated for nearly a century stopped. But the method did not stop. Other banks adopted it, improved it. The Fugger family in Germany, the Welser family, the Genoese banks, the Venetian banks, they all used letters of exchange, all used double-entry bookkeeping, all operated networks of branches across Europe. The specific institutions changed, but the mechanisms persisted, evolved, spread. By the 1500s, banking as we understand it was standard across Europe. By the 1600s, it had reached the Americas. By the 1700s, Asia. By the 1800s, it was global. And now, in the 21st century, the system is so ubiquitous that we do not even think about it. We transfer money with a tap on a screen. The transaction is recorded in ledgers, multiple ledgers, in multiple locations. The balance is verified. The accounts are reconciled. All automatically, all instantaneously. But the principle is exactly the same. The ledger entry in your bank's database is the modern equivalent of Giovanni's handwriting in the Medici ledger. The cryptographic signature on a digital payment is the modern equivalent of the wax seal on the letter of exchange. The correspondent banking relationship between banks in different countries is the modern equivalent of the Medici branch network. Nothing has fundamentally changed. Only the speed, only the scale, only the technology of implementation. The core insight remains. Value is information. Trust is verification. Distance is irrelevant. Your eyes are closed, have been closed for some time perhaps. The words continue, but they are becoming more distant, like sounds from another room, muffled, indistinct. You catch fragments: ledger, florin, branch, exchange. But the fragments do not connect, do not form a complete picture. They drift through your awareness like clouds, present briefly, then gone. This is good. This is the intention. Not to inform, but to accompany, to provide a gentle sound, a rhythm, a cadence that supports the descent into sleep. The content is irrelevant. The tone is everything. Slow, steady, unchanging, reliable. Let us return once more to Florence, to Via Porta Rossa, to the Palazzo Medici, but not in 1462. In 1527, 65 years later, the Medici have returned to power, been expelled again, returned again. The cycles of politics continue, but the bank is gone, the branches are closed, the ledgers are archived, the palazzo still stands, the rusticated stone, the small windows, the oak door, the coat of arms above, the 6 red balls on the gold field. But it is quieter now, fewer visitors, fewer transactions. The building has become a residence, a monument, a reminder of what was. Inside, in a room on the 2nd floor, an old ledger sits on a shelf. The leather binding is cracked, the pages are yellowed, the ink has faded to brown, but the entries are still legible. If you were to open the ledger, if you were to run your finger down the columns, you would see them, the transactions, the names, the dates, the amounts. To Tommaso Portinari, 5,000 florins. From London branch, 3,000 ducats. To Venice branch, 7,000 lira. Lines and lines, pages and pages, the accumulated record of a century of transactions, of letters written and redeemed, of gold counted and recounted, of trust given and honored, of a system that worked. And if you were to close that ledger, if you were to place it back on the shelf, if you were to leave the room, to walk down the stone stairs, to exit the palazzo, to stand once more on Via Porta Rossa, you would see the street much as it was, the cobblestones, the narrow space between buildings, the light falling in the same patterns It fell 500 years ago. Nothing has changed. Everything has changed. The Medici are gone. The bank is gone. The specific florins counted in those ledgers are gone. Melted down, recast, spent, forgotten. But the idea remains. The method remains. The understanding that value can be represented, can be transferred, can be trusted. This is what persists. Not the gold, not the ledgers, not the letters. The idea, the mechanism, the system of trust made formal, made repeatable, made reliable. You are drifting now. The Palazzo Medici, the ledgers, the letters. These images float through your mind like dreams. Disconnected, beautiful, unimportant. You do not need to remember them. You do not need to understand them. They are just there, like stars, like distant lights, present but unreachable, significant but incomprehensible. Let them drift. Let them fade. Your breathing is so slow now, so deep. Each inhale fills you. Each exhale empties you. There is nothing to hold, nothing to keep. Just the rhythm, just the rise and fall, just the slow descent into darkness. And so we come to the end, not dramatically, not with resolution or conclusion, but with slow dissolution, with fading, with the gradual release of attention, of focus, of the need to understand or remember or retain. The Medici Bank was created in 1397. It collapsed in 1494. It operated for 97 years, nearly a century. In that time, it facilitated thousands of transactions, moved millions of florins, financed art, supported politics, changed the world. But you do not need to remember this. You do not need to carry it with you. It can simply exist, like the old ledgers, like the palazzo on Via Portarossa, like the cobblestones worn smooth by centuries of footsteps, present but distant, significant but quiet, part of the vast, slow accumulation of human history, the endless procession of people making systems, building trust, recording transactions, balancing accounts. The Medici are gone. The bankers are gone. The merchants are gone. The letters have been redeemed. The ledgers have been closed. The accounts have been settled. What remains is just the idea. The elegant, simple, revolutionary idea. That value does not need to move. Only the promise of value needs to move. And if the promise is documented, if it is verified, if it is trusted, then it is as good as gold, better than gold even, because it is lighter, safer, more efficient. This idea, born in Florence 600 years ago, is the foundation of everything, of every bank, every transfer, every transaction that happens now, in this moment, across the world. The mechanisms have changed, but the principle has not. And you, lying here, in the darkness, you are part of this system. You have a bank account. You have made transfers. You have sent payments. You have received payments. You participate in the legacy of the Medici without thinking about it, without knowing the history, without needing to know. The system works. It has worked for 600 years. It will work tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after that, quietly, reliably, invisibly. The ledgers update, the balances change, the accounts reconcile, all without you, and you can rest. The Palazzo Medici is fading. The ledger is closed. The letter is redeemed. The transaction is complete. And you are sleeping. Sleep now.